So what makes up a good tenant? To start with, I suppose the most obvious would be how the tenant looks, their hygiene. Can't underestimate personal hygiene. If somebody turns up to a viewing and they're smelly, it's very likely that their property is going to be smelly also. You need to be thinking about when you want to rent your property and ask the same question to a tenant. Many applicants are looking to rent a property in 6 to 8 weeks' time, which is not very helpful if your property is vacant right now. You need to be asking questions of yourself. How long do you want to rent the property for? You might be wanting to sell your property but deciding to rent it for a short term. You might want to rent it long term. So knowing the answers to the questions before tenants ask you is something that's very important. Dealing with tenants is quite awkward. Many tenants will deliberately mislead a private landlord because they feel they can get away with it. You need to be looking at the affordability for a tenant that maybe is earning minimum wage to rent a property for £600 or £700 a month. Housing benefit has been radically reformed with the coalition government, and the benefit that people receive is shrinking and is to shrink even more. I personally haven't got a problem with that, but many people that feel they are obliged to have their rent paid for them have got a sharp shock coming to them. So, things that a good letting agent would do if somebody was applying for a property is that they would do a credit check on them, and a credit check would tell you whether they've been bankrupt, whether they've got an IVA, an involuntary order, they've got county court judgments, and generally how they manage their finances. We would also take references with their previous landlord and current employer, possibly even previous employer, if they've not been in their job that long. So we're looking at a number of different criteria in order to establish whether a tenant is good or bad.